got a
Hi, I'm
message
here
here.
today with the Business Spotlight interview with Edu, and he's going to tell us a bit about what he does and for how long he's been doing it. So I'll pass it over to you, Edu.
Yeah.
Basically, my first question is, what is it you do and for how long?
Yeah. Well, hi Kevin. Thanks so much for having me. It's great to be here. And yeah, that's a good question. What I do is I'm a musician. I'm a music producer. I'm actually from Brazil, and I've been in Ireland for 5 years now. And I'm also a mechatronic engineer, which is electronics and mechanics. So I did a lot of programming and some of software development and a little bit of that. But I've been working more with audio and music for a while. So came to Ireland to do a master's in film scoring. So write music for film, visual media.
Oh,
And yeah, and on that trajectory, we created NUA, which is the company I work with here in Ireland. So it's myself and a business partner of mine that we do all sorts of work with from music, audio, and video as well, AV work, and some software developing, most things like art or media related. So it's a media production company. But for how long I've been doing it, like there have been loads of changes throughout this whole plan. But I started mainly as a music producer and recording engineer, I'd say 13 years ago. So
wow, okay,
sometime.
fantastic. Okay, and who is your best customer? Or do you have a best customer or group of customers?
We have some good customers. That's something that changed quite a lot recently in a good way, because I would work a lot as a freelancer. We started a company, but as a recording engineer or music producer, I would be working with lots of different clients, or maybe it's just a few artists here and there, and then maybe some venues, some institutions. But since COVID, I had one big client, which was a composer I was working with. So it was a production company that we're working for a TV show. So we did like a couple of TV shows. So those projects are a bit longer and took quite a bit of time. And also from the past 2 years, also kind of related to COVID, the Irish National Opera, the INO,
Okay.
have been really one of our biggest customers, because they had to change the way they do things. So we became ourselves. We also work in a collaboration with Ergodos, which is like a music label. So they would be working with us. So this is one of the big clients that we did in the past year, for example, like 6 operas, so big productions, and all the recording and the audio related to that. So I'd say these probably Irish National Opera is our biggest client right now.
Fantastic, fantastic, yeah. And were there any business changes? Well, I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this, but were there any business changes you had considered that COVID made a necessity?
There are loads of those. It is interesting because they almost feel kind of normal, or now we're kind of used to these, and then we might not even see them as business changes due to COVID. As I said, like there wasn't a very clear, like we do have an office and a studio, a home studio that we work on, but the work I do is very much project based. So we would go to record in studios or record on some venues or do some of the post production in-house. But there wasn't a clear change like, oh no, COVID hit, we need to go remote or something. Our work was already very flexible.
Okay.
But these things kind of rooted differently now. So now we have, I guess in terms of the media production, we started doing much more video streamings and video recordings. A lot of the audio production we used to do now comes with video, because people are much more interested in streaming what they're doing. They have to have the online presence, so their online option of, it's not just live events or just live music. So I guess one of the big changes is being prepared to offer or to work with video, with streaming. Even like a lot of the work happens now with Zoom, so we have to be ready for that. So I think those are changes that definitely were enhanced, and they are here to stay for a while.
You were doing a lot of this, but as you say, it got enhanced or accelerated, I suppose, like everybody else that we had.
Most definitely, yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. So again, I think I know the answer to this, but of all the actions you've taken because of the pandemic, what are some that will remain part of your business?
Yeah, I'd say the work with video, it's something that we already did, but the way we do it definitely changed it. And also some of the, my light is fading there. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It blinked. I hope the energy won't fade.
Right.
So I'd say, yeah, being prepared to to accommodate online meetings and also remote production. So sometimes I'm working with clients and with artists on a remote setting, like sometimes even doing recording. I did quite a few remote recordings myself in the studio. Client were in the UK or in Germany, or even I did a recording from Brazil. So that's something that happened already, but now it's something that, as you said, like accelerated and have to be ready to
Right.
take on.
Fantastic. And what would you say is your biggest learning since you've been a business owner?
There are so many. I'd say for myself personally, like being like a producer, a musician, loads of the stuff I've been doing for years. So I've been recording for 13 years and ends up being very focused on what I do. So I was working as a freelancer or as a producer, or if I'm composing, I would do everything myself, which gives me control, and then I'm happy to work that way. But as a business owner, I've been learning like you need a good team. You need to have good people to work with. You need to learn to delegate. And this is something that's been like a learning, a very steep learning curve. And I'm still working on it. And what can I delegate to other people to do it, and even get better people to do it. And so, and there's also like the admin part of the business in terms of, so I guess having good people to work with and being able to delegate tasks, delegate other activities instead of holding everything, like not micromanaging. So that's probably the biggest learning.
Yeah, we can. If we're all over everything, we've got control and it feels comfortable. But then you've got to start leaving this out, and it's kind of the butterflies start, don't they?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's absolutely the way to go. In order to be able to expand your business, you need to have a great team. You need to be able to delegate, and they need to run great systems. For
exactly. Yeah.
Which is what we teach, definitely.
Yeah.
And so, have you any offers to include in the newsletter?
I wouldn't have any specific offers. I know that I don't know exactly like what's your like the clients we're looking, but like I'd say one thing that we offer as new that's been really interesting and relates to this in terms of we were saying like how to spend the business and how to work with people. One thing we've been doing a lot, and I guess Irish National Opera brought this because these are larger scale projects that involves a lot of people. But one thing we've been learning to do that's really important is like the project managing, and then mainly on media and creative side, because there's a lot of people that are still learning how to do, or people are not used to do streamings or to do audio recordings or to need this kind of thing. So I'd say one thing that we offer, so it's not a special necessarily or discount, like we compose music, we produce video, and all that is nice. But one thing that we've been doing is helping projects move forward in a leaner way, or like the same as I saying, like in terms of delegating, but finding the right team, finding the delivering the what's needed to happen. So I think just as an example, just a couple of weeks ago, I was on the West Cork Chamber Music Festival down in Bantry in West Cork. Beautiful place, and it was amazing. And it's such a big, it's a big festival, very important on the classical music world. And a lot of that was actually making it happen. There were different venues we were recording simultaneously, and like lots of different problems to solve. Or how are we going to do this? How are we going to record this without being on the way of the festival? So I guess this creative problem solving is something that we've been doing a lot. And I'd say it's something nice that we offer. It's not necessarily
fantastic. And what is most inspiring to you today?
I'd say it's something that has been really inspiring is seeing, I guess, as I said, in terms of learning, like working with good people, having good teams to work with being involved on some projects that have been so demanding in terms of deadline and time pressure, and things have to happen in a different way because of COVID. So what's been really inspiring is finding people that are really willing to quickly adapt, people that you can trust. So sometimes it's not necessarily the best project. Oh, I can only do this, or only do like sometimes we do things for a long time and we kind of fixed on those ways and we know that those ways work. But that doesn't matter anymore if something changes and you need to adapt. Like I needed to record an orchestra where the orchestra members had to sit 2 meters apart of each other. So for the orchestra, they had to learn because the way you listen to the people around you is different. The way that the orchestra sounds is different. The space, so everything changes. So I couldn't say like, oh, we can't do it. No, how can we do it? And it's so inspiring to see people come together to overcome challenges. And I think it's been a reality these past years due to to the world kind of circumstances. So I'd say it's really inspiring working with people that are are together, willing to adapt quickly to reach the same goal together. I think that's the best thing.
Fantastic. Yeah, to change, I suppose I can to how can I, and work from there.
Exactly.
Yeah. Fantastic. And your website, Edu, or where would people, if they want to get in contact with you, what's the best?
Yeah, so we do split it. It depends on what we're doing, but nua.ie, so www.nua.ie. Nua is spelled NUWA.ie, so that you can find some of the services, mainly media production. And I also, as I mentioned, like create sounds, and I create software, audio software. So you can also find some of the things I create on sounds.eduprado.com.
Okay.
So, or as a musician, you can just look up eduprado.com, and like if you're people looking for music to be composed, that's how usually we brand it. But you can reach us in nua.ie. We'll be happy to talk.
Fantastic. To you. Well, listen, Edu, it's been great talking to you today, and look forward to getting this out to our database.
That's great, Kevin. Thanks so much for inviting me. Like, it's great to know you.
Yeah, you're very welcome.